right, Mesus, thank you so much for sitting down and joining me today, brother.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Now, I got to say right off the top, I've been checking the iTunes charts for the past few days since Pale Horse dropped on September 13th. I get up this morning and I see above Uncle L and above Eminem, we got you two at #1, man. How's that feel?
It's insane. It's how it feels. And if this ends up going #1 for hip hop, dude, like to be my first like #1 album, to be with, you know, the guy that I started doing this shit with, man, like, you know, like officially started like actually making music with, yeah, it's pretty fitting, you know. So it's crazy though, man. We got some more work to do, man. I live in Nashville and we're about to go hit the Broadway. Me and my wife, and I'm just gonna go bombard people and just be like, "Have you heard my album? You gotta go buy it right now."
Heck yeah. You being an old school hip hop head myself, I mean, it's pretty cool for me being a big fan of you guys, of independent rap in general, to look at a chart like that. And it's not like you're beating out some little chuckleheads, modern day guys like Lil Yachty or Tekashi or some nonsense. You're up there with rap royalty.
Nice.
That just adds that extra bit of oomph to it, right?
It's nuts, bro. It's nuts. I said the same thing yesterday because I was like, dog, it's not, and not even just that, but it's not like an M album that's just kind of been floating around. I mean, it's just, it's a big M album too. It's an album that M, like, there's a lot, not, I don't know if there's such thing as a small M album, but like it's this album that people were like very excited about. And LL is kind of just cool on a personal level because I actually met him in New York in traffic, literally.
Oh, no way.
He was literally just, traffic was backed up. I was walking down a sidewalk. I was there to go meetings for Jay-Z, L.A. Reid, and Russell Simmons back in like 2005. And he just had his arm hanging out the window. And I saw the mic cord tattoo and like the back of a red hat that said like ITH, like I was like Mr. Smith, you know, like way back then, like, and I was like, no shit, dude. And I mean, I just walked up like, what up, man? And he rolled the window down, shook my hand. He gave me his fucking manager's number and all that shit. So cool is an appropriate part of his name because he was a cool dude.
Yeah.
So no disrespect, L, but yeah, man, it's cool to be sitting up there, man. That's pretty cool.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, man. I was listening to L way back in the day. I mean, I had to walk in with a Panther poster on my wall, you know. But
yeah.
So anyways, Pale Horse. The title of the album, obviously, if people don't know, it seems to come from Revelation. I mean, the album does open with that quote on there. Who came up with the title? Was it you guys together, or was that something you did yourself?
Together. We were already pretty well into the project, you know, and we were just kind of like, we gotta come up with a name for this, and we just started throwing names out, and and trying to like some of the names were like not very they were controversial, I'll just put it that way. They were definitely like I don't know if we're ever gonna get a feature again type of thing, like, you know what I mean? like they were really pushing the envelope. And you know, we kind of just, like I said, it was kind of like a pendulum almost of like, all right, well, and we swing all the way over to like almost the other side of a name. And I think somewhere along the line, I threw out White Horse, and then pretty much like almost like within a second or two later, Adam was like, what about Pale Horse? And I was like, that's kind of cool. And it's funny thing is, I'm like more like the Bible guy, like Jesus in me and all that. And like, I didn't even know that was a Bible thing when he said that. I didn't know that Pale Horse was, I knew the horse is a revelation. I knew like red horse, black horse, white horse was like one, but I didn't know the Pale Horse thing. So it was a very appropriate thing because me and Adam have been through hell and back. So like, and then talking about hell following with it and all that, like, and it's also like this horse of judgment. And I kind of felt like it was us bringing that fucking, like, you know, like we came like Who Wants It, you know, on every fucking pretty much. So yeah, it was a cool name to land on, but it was not you know. I mean, man, I usually come up with a name for an album and then create the album. It's very different for me. Like I create a name and I actually make it where like the name goes down like vertically, and then the song titles go through the middle of it. So
really,
yeah, I do that on all the like artwork of all of my albums. So like it's like a puzzle, and it's very Adam style because it drives him fucking absolutely crazy. He's like, we're not doing that shit. And I'm just like, all right. So
you mentioned the other day you were working on a video. Do you guys have another single and video coming out from this album?
Tomorrow. We got another video dropping tomorrow. Yep. So
what song is it?
Pale Horse.
Oh, Pale Horse is the one. All right, cool.
Yep. So yeah, I'm excited about that one. That was pretty fun to shoot.
You've done other collaborations with other rappers before, but this one was a bit different because it's not just another rapper, but it's a friend and a friend you've known for a long time. What was that like versus just, doing a collab with a different artist?
Oh man, I mean, this album is special because it's just so, God, how do I put it, man? It's been such a long time in the making, So, working with other artists, it's actually like completely opposite because it's like usually it's fresh and you just got to know the person, and because I don't know if I've worked with anybody that I just like, yeah, send me a file. I don't think I've done that with anyone. I might be mistaken, but like everybody that I've worked with has always been like, get to know the person, hang out, break some bread. Like I'm just not that dude that's just whatever. So I know somebody a little bit, but it's like usually like, I mean, me and Adam have known each other for so fucking long. For the fact that like this is finally to put an album together, there was such a different feeling behind creating this project, Plus it was a whole project versus just one song collab. Well, me and Burden did that whole project, but that was we kind of sat down and did that pretty quickly. This album, me and Adam damn near didn't do anything for a month before we even like, we were together for almost a month before we even like started even working on the album. And we talked about it before that too.
So the process took a while to get this one.
Yeah, I mean, bro, we were almost gonna put this album. We were almost, not this album, obviously, but we were gonna do a collab after America.
Oh wow!
And then it just like, for whatever reason, we ended up like pushing it back. And then right after Billy Go, we were gonna do one. And like I said, being like there was just something that was like, I felt like God was just saying like, oh, this ain't it. It ain't the right time. And in hindsight, I was just talking to one of my buddies on the ride back home yesterday. On hindsight, positive, 100% positive. It was the right move at the time, that like we didn't end up doing it back then. But yeah, so I mean, all that, not just like the fact that all the way since we were kids, but like there were a couple times, even since we were adults and had careers, that we almost did it, and it's still so to finally do it, man. It was pretty cool, bro. So,
it seems almost like a completion and a beginning both at the same time. If you catch my drift, like I like the picture recreation you guys put up on social media of the one of you and Adam and Taman from I don't know, it looks like at least 20 something years ago. You look like you're about 18 to now. When was that photo taken?
2000 even. Maybe like 2000. I mean, Taman, I don't know how Taman's 24 now.
Yeah.
He was born in 2000, so it couldn't have been. It must have been 2001.
That's awesome, man. When you have friends like that for so long, and then after all these years, you're still brothers and you're still talking, stuff like that's impossible to replace. It's impossible to recreate, and it's really special when you got it. So I'm happy you guys have been able to do this. It's cool being fans to see that as well, and I think it makes the album more special for us as listeners as well, because we know a bit of the story behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I I'm not as familiar with you as I am with Adam's work, but you first popped onto my radar. It was back in 2000 when that whole Nick Cannon, Eminem continuation of the Lord Jamar bullshit from 2013 started with the Guest in Hip Hop and everything. And I really, really liked that song Guest that you did back then. And you had like I think it was the big hip hop is not a color, it's a culture, something like that, like the big hoodie on there. I really liked that. Since then, like, how has it been like career-wise? Because that seems to have blown up like pretty big from what I remember. It has like 4 or 5 million views on it. And then since then, you've put out a couple other albums, and now you've got this with Adam. Like, did the momentum kind of pick up after that, or how do you feel?
Yeah, that song. So that song happened. I wrote that song because I was sitting in the studio. I knew Nick. Not okay. Let me phrase it. I know Nick's like whole camp. In 2008, I went out to California because Robin Big. Remember the Robin Big show with Deerdak and Big Black, rest in peace. Was in Chicago doing like some photo op thing or whatever at a mall. And so I went there and I ended up meeting some of his people, like his directors and shit, all that. And so when I hit him up and I was like, yo, I'm out in Cali, man. And they're like, yeah, pull up. And I didn't know that they were connected to Nick Cannon or any of that shit, but I ended up going to Nick Cannon's studio and he wasn't there, but it was down in San Diego. And ever since, that's 2008. So ever since then, anytime I'm in California, which I was back and forth from California quite a bit, I would pull up, you know, and since then it moved his studio to LA, to like West Hollywood or some shit. And so that's why even in Home, which was like the follow-up song to that, I said, I'll drop your address, like, you know, drop your address, you know, like you drop to your knees for deals and shit. Like, because it got personal to me because I was in a studio getting a different song recorded or mixed, and I'm sitting there just on YouTube, just kind of like whatever. And that's when I saw the DJ Vlad interview with Nick Cannon saying that he agreed with that statement that white people were guessing hip hop. And that's when I was like, what the fuck? And then that's when I wrote that song, and I was working on a project, like I just said, how I make the list, like it was called Eracism. And it was just a song at the time that I was like, all right, you know, that'll go on that project. It was in that. And so anyway, man, I made that song. I was just chilling. And then a couple months later is when he dropped the song Dis and M, the one on whatever you call that shit, whatever. It went crazy, and World Star, and I hit my homie up. I was like, yo, I think I should drop a video for this song I wrote a little bit ago, and he shot it. I never edited a video in my life. Learned how to edit, like 40 hours of just doing it by myself. Dropped it and passed out on the floor of the same damn room I was in editing the video. Woke up and the fucker was trending, and I was just like, oh shit. And then like I said, then all the fucking Stan shit started coming at me, and like, oh shit, and I'm like, nah, bitch. And that's when I put the Home song out, and then Black and White, which I don't know if you heard that one of mine, but Black and White was actually like the third song that I wrote back then, but it ended up dropping like almost a year later, which I was pissed at myself because I wish I would have just put that shit out, because what happened is that ended up kind of cooling off. Me and my wife met and got married, and I moved to St. Louis. And then by the time I kind of got back into it, the whole world had gone to fucking shit. And we got married when the day quarantine happened. That was our anniversary.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was just, I'm trying to find my spinning. I just went from 672 subs before I had dropped Guest to like, I'm at like 40K now in like a month. And I'm like, oh shit, you know, like, okay, I think I got a career now or something, you know, like fucking, and I'm just an artist that puts my life and the world going on around me in it, you know what I'm saying? And my music, it's how I process shit and You know what I mean? My
Okay.
whole life. When 9/11 happened, way the fuck long ago before I ever had a career in any of this, I made a 9-minute, 11-second song like about the shit. I've always, so it was never like, oh, you're cloud chasing. It's like, the cloud wasn't even a fucking thing. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
man, I'm just talking about life. And so that's what happened in 2020, man. It was just a crazy year. And it just happened to be when my name started to climb into people starting to see who I was.
Right.
And so you got like the white sin with the whole George Floyd thing, and then then the whole jab thing, whatever. Like that, I started talking about that and all this shit, and I was just trying to speak my mind. But what happened is I was getting kind of fucking like, because what happens is in between that, I'm putting out normal songs, I'm putting out rap shit like what this project is, and I'm putting out just hip hop. But that shit's getting 500,000 because I was still kind of buzzing 400, 500. But then I put out Trump 2020 or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's just 2 million. You know, and it's like, so it's like everybody's, oh, he's a political guy. He's a political guy. It's like, nah, I'm just talking about the shit everybody else is talking about. I just made a song about it, and because YouTube, it's going crazy, and now all the other shit you don't see. So yeah, but that's what took, bro. That's when it started to take for sure.
Well, you said you got labeled as kind of political rap after that. What would you describe your music as?
Real shit, dude. Just real, like music with a fucking message, bro. That's what I actually literally like call it, is music with a message. I'm excited for the music that's coming after, like this next shit after me and Adam, this project. Because I got an album called Saint Mesus that I'm working on, and then I got another album called Rap Jesus, and those are much more like, music's always been therapeutic to me, man. So a lot of my music is personal, but like that's what I mean. It's like I took that Nick Cannon shit personal. Most people look at that as like a diss, clout chase type, whatever. It's like, no, like I literally know this dude and I took it personal. Like, so that's how you looked at me, bro? Like when you send text to your producer saying this shit's fire, it's like, it's fire for a guest, is in fucking parentheses, you know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. I took that shit personal, but people don't know your story. They just look at the cover and I think you see a guy with a big beard like this or whatever, and he's talking about white sin and George Floyd, and all this shit just kind of starts to put somebody in a box, which I get, because that was also the same time that the whole MAGA rap scene kind of became a thing. So I get why I got labeled. I've said this 100 times at this point, but one of the best bars I said in this album is or one of my favorite, whatever you want to call it, was you can fact check every bar that I write. Only mistake that I made, I ain't marketed right.
Yeah, that was on the last one on the album, the Judas. Yeah.
Good grab, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's my career so far in a nutshell, bro. It's like, man, all I've done is speak the truth, and I've spoke the truth about my fucking depression. I've spoke the truth about God. I've spoke the truth about my relationships with family and stuff like that. I've spoke the truth about this country. What most people give a fuck about and paid the most attention to is the last one I just said. And so now it's like, that's what you are. It's like, no, I'm all this shit. But I marketed it wrong because I didn't understand how people would respond to shit. That was
I don't think any of us saw this whole MAGA rap thing coming. I mean, I've been listening to rap literally since I was 3. I mean, I was offended when that Nick Cannon shit came out too, because I've been a white guy hanging around black guys my whole life. So don't think I haven't heard it too, just because I'm not a musician or I don't make music. I've heard that shit my whole life. The wigger this, wigger that. You don't belong with this. You know, I get it. And so I was offended too. I'm like, fuck you. This hip hop culture is not about being a color. It's just not. And if you know the roots and you know the culture, then you know that already. And it's just some people can't look past their racism, which is, there's a lot of it in hip hop. There's the whole 5% thing and all of it. I don't know. It's never really bothered me. People can have their own viewpoints. I mean, I listened to Brand New Skin when I was a kid. I listened to Public Enemy. I can bump all that just fine. I don't take it personal. But when they start saying things like that, like Lord Jamar saying M don't belong and Nick repeating it, that's to me, it's just taking it too far. Like, I don't care about your personal views, but don't sit there and say that a particular color can't make music or be involved in this culture. That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I was so I'm right there with you, bro. I was so I was so used to it, like you said, man.
Yeah.
that like that song was just a song I wrote to get the shit off my chest. Wasn't even planning on it being a single. You know what I mean? Like it was literally. So I'm right there with you. I mean, bro, I should show you an email that I have right here that I just woke up to this morning and read. It's unreal what I don't even know who it is. Someone who got my email apparently, and it's just it's one of the most racist things I've read in my life. And
Oh no.
I think it's from it is from a white guy for sure. But he's like calling me what you said, the wigger thing and all, but worse. I'm keeping it cool for you too.
Yeah.
But like it's like wow, dog. Like, and he's like, you're an embarrassment to our culture and shit like that, bro. And I'm just like, nah, bro. Racism is an embarrassment to our culture, bro. But okay, cool. So yeah, man. I'm right there with you, bro.
Let's talk a bit about your rap name before we dive into expanding that a little bit. You
Sure.
mentioned it a little bit ago. You said Mesus is a combination of me and Jesus.
Yep.
Is that it? I mean, is that it in a nutshell? Expand on that a little bit.
Yeah. I was writing a song back in 2018. I've kind of bounced around. Like my first name ever was Absolute. And that was back when me and Adam first started doing it. I went by that for a long time, and then I just kind of felt like drawn away from that, I guess is the best way I can put it, man. But so for a while, I just went by my last name, and it just didn't feel like that was it. And so I was just kind of. But if you look at Adam's first album, he's got an album called America. And there's a song called Sunset. That's me on there. I don't know. The guy Cosetti on there, that's me. That's my last name.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
And Sunset was actually a song that I had. And I don't think it's on my YouTube. I fucking take so much shit down. But it was on my YouTube at one point in like 2015 or something like that. And we remixed that. So it's the same beat, same hook. And then we both did like 2 new verses on it. But I was going by that, and then around so it had to be 2018 because that album dropped in 2018. I was writing a song and I said, I'm not Jesus, I'm Mesus. I'm just trying to stand for believers who know we ain't perfect, but he is. And I just kind of paused after writing that bar, and I was just like, huh. I was like, yo, that's dope. You know what I mean? And then I just kind of was, it just stuck. Like that was like, I think I'm going to go with that name. And then, it also has biblical, because I've had Christians who have gotten fucking mad at me, dude. Like, they're like, that's blasphemous. That's
Really?
Yeah, because, they take it the wrong way and they think I'm saying I'm, Jesus, or I'm the God or the Savior. And I'm like, no. What it means Jesus in me. I want people to see Jesus in me, and that's biblical, man. That's all throughout Scripture, And so that's where that name came from, man. I wanted something that basically said, look, man, I love Jesus, and I will unashamedly say that till the day I take my last breath. But at the same time, like I'm me, and you're gonna get both sides of that in my music. You know what I mean? And I understand that ain't for everybody. It's kind of like a Dax thing, bro. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Dax is the best lane that I probably honestly fit in, like that kind of thing. Because I'm not a Christian rap artist. I'm not Lecrae or Annie Meany, or no disrespect to those guys. I think they're great artists. But like, I'm also not just like I'm gonna talk about my faith. It's important to me. It's a huge pillar of my. It is my life. You know what I'm saying? And music is a reflection of my life. And so I wanted it to point to that, but still be real with people. Sorry, I didn't cut you off, bro.
No, I was just wondering how hard it is to kind of walk that line where, I mean, okay, so you're a rapper and you're a white rapper. So there's a bit of a barrier right there too. Yeah. And then you choose to talk about your faith, which a lot of times doesn't matter if you're talking about Islam or beliefs like 5% stuff in rap. But for some reason, when you start talking about Christian stuff, people get weird and wonky about it, both Christians and non-Christians as well. So you've kind of got a challenge to walk like you're not like you said, you're not a Christian rapper. You're a rapper who is a Christian.
Yeah.
who talks about your life. That's what rappers do. They talk about their fucking life. So of
Yeah.
course you're gonna mention that, but it's got to be difficult when you have that balance of the white guy, the Christian guy, and the rapper trying to balance all three. Because I'm sure you get shit from rappers, and I'm quite sure you get some from Christians as well who can't really accept what you're doing. Am I right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's yeah, man. It's like I'm kind of what's the word? I'm kind of blazing my own trail, man, so to speak, which is makes it a lot harder, you know, because there's not really a lane. Like I have ran from lanes my whole career, bro, or my whole life, I guess, you
Okay.
know, like because you know, like you said, okay, I started rapping before I knew who Eminem was. Like it's not a dig at Eminem, it's just fact. I started rapping at 13 years old. I'll be 44 in December. So like I've been rapping since I was 12, 13 years old, whatever it was. I wrote my first song when I was 16. So, you know, Eminem is Eminem. He's fucking unbelievably talented individual, and he's accomplished a unmeasurable amount of shit in his career. But like, cool, you know, and he's white. Cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's about my take on it, bro. Like, you know, I would definitely be, you know, if I met the dude, it'd be cool as shit and whatever. Like, I mean, as far as his career and things he's done, and but like, it wasn't like he's the reason I rap, you know. But
Yeah.
when I just happened to be about 18, 19 years old, and me and Adam started getting onto the open mic scene and shit right when he broke on too. So yes, the white guy barrier, that's the first, you know,
Mm.
it's like, you know, I can't tell you how many 8 Mile fucking battle rap bars I heard in 2000 and 2001, and when I'd go to these clubs and be in the battle rap shit. So you got to get past that. And like, no, dude, I'm not a fucking white rapper.
Right.
I'm a fucking rapper. Like, hi, you know what I'm saying? Then you get through that. And it's like 10 years later, right? And it's like people are finally starting to. You got there's more accepted guys, and now it's like, okay, whatever. And I'm still not even having a career, dude. I'm still just. This is like 2010 or whatever, you know. But and then it's like that actually is around when I really kind of had like I don't know, a reawakening, I guess you call it, in my life as far as my walk with God and stuff. And I started putting that into my music. And then that's when people were like, well, are you a Christian rapper? It's like it went from like, well, you're a white rapper. And it was kind of weird. And then it's
Yeah.
like, I'd meet Christians and they'd be like, well, are you a Christian rapper? I'm like, well, not really. And they're like, why not? And I'm like, well, I don't know. And then I'd make music. I was like, well, maybe I should be, because I keep getting asked this. You know what I mean? Like I keep getting like, well, you should make that.
Yeah.
So then I did. I made a bunch of Christian rap. You know what I mean? But it never felt like I felt like I was two in a box. Like I couldn't totally just be who I am. You know, I looked at the this is early, bro, when Christian rap was still very, very like not what it is now. And you know, you can have a very lucrative career in Christian rap, and like there's like this is 2010, 2011, 2012. Like I could have gone into that lane and just, you know, shot straight pretty much up to the top, because it's a big fish, small pond kind of type of thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of artists in there and whatever, but it's just like, one, it felt weird. I'm like, I don't want to like sell God. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
kind of what it felt like, first of all. Not that my lyrics weren't sincere and that I didn't mean what I meant, but it's what it felt like. I don't want to treat it like a business. If I can't fully be who I am, like I feel like I'm being fake,
Yeah.
but I'm treating it like a business, you know? And so like I was like, I can't, I don't want to do that. And then like I just kind of, well, I was like, oh well, I'll just make like, I made this album called Victory Music. It was the first album I ever uploaded digitally. It's not up there anymore, but I put it out in 2014, and it was like victory music. That was like my compromise middle ground, where it was like, it's positive, it's just like encouragement, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
like it fucking you know, it's still, but I wasn't cussing on none of it. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of my middle, like, okay. And it's just, like I said, I always felt like I wasn't being my full, like real self. And then Adam, I wrestled with that shit for a long time. And meanwhile, Adam popped kind of on social media first. And then probably like 3 years, 2-3 years into the 2 years probably the social media shit. That's when he started getting back to the music, and then me and him linked back up, and then that was when it was like, what the fuck? Because he got into country rap.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's awesome. I think it's amazing. Like, I met tons of guys in this genre since then that are awesome dudes. You know what I mean? And like great artists, you know, and all that shit. So, but it's just like, then I kind of gravitated to that. And, you know, people were like, you know, and there was almost like a little part of me was like, all right, maybe I don't know, maybe this is where I land. You know what I mean? God and country, people rock with God here. Like, I never get anybody looking at me weird about that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you know, South is pretty, which is where a lot of it's from. Like, they're all right, cool. I started feeling comfortable, but it was still like, nah, this ain't. And that's something that I want to actually address, bro, because like honestly, like I fucking straight up could have just took that again, like just like the Christian rap thing. Adam, I'm like best friends with him all the time, all these shows. I could have just appropriated that fucking lane and just plowed down that shit too. You know what I mean? And that's one thing nobody can ever say about me, man, is I stay true to who the fuck I am, and I even to the point where if it's hurt my career or whatever, dog, like, or it's made my career take longer to happen, like I said with the album coming together, like I came to Adam in 2020, and he was like ready to get it dropped in after Billy Goat, and I was like, dog, I don't think I really feel like God's saying this ain't the right time. I mean, who the fuck would have did that in my position?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's but yeah, man, I don't know. I'm sorry. That's kind of a long answer about it, man.
No, not at all. I like the fact that you put so much of yourself out there, including the religion. I mean, at first I did think you were a Christian rapper. Like, I subscribed to you, and then I actually unsubbed because I was like, I'm really not in the mood for Christian rap. And then I realized later, I was like, oh shit, okay, he's not exactly a Christian rapper. You know, I just didn't understand at first what was going on. You know what I mean?
No, hey man, I appreciate the transparency too.
Yeah, you know, but I gotta say, the fact that you keep talking about being yourself and putting it out there. You put a song out. This is old shit, but for me it was brand new today. Like, I found your song Freepression today. This morning, man. That was I think I listened to it like 8-9 times.
Oh wow.
Like, that shit made me cry. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I just got some personal shit going on. You know, I got friends that have died here real recently, and life's kind of kicking my ass.
I'm sorry, man.
And that song was like just real shit like that. When people put it out, like, I don't know, but I'm assuming if I put something out like that, I would feel self-conscious about putting my feelings out like that into the world. I'm self-conscious saying this right now. But when you as an artist do that, and then someone in a position like I'm not saying that's what I was thinking of doing. I'm just saying the words you were describing in that song, like, yeah, that's how I'm feeling. I feel it. And to be able to hear it, to be able to realize that you're not alone with those thoughts, to be able to realize that other men similar to yourself, you know what I mean? Like I don't know you, but you're obviously into hip hop, you're into rap. We got things in common, you know, even though we're strangers. And so the fact that you're talking about shit that I'm feeling, and it's okay to say that, and it's okay to put it out there, it helps, man. And so, not that you need me to encourage you to do anything, but just as a person looking on the outside at what you're doing, just keep it up, man. Put out what you really feel, man. Be you. Fuck making money and all that other stuff. If you're just true to yourself, man, that's when you're gonna make some impact in people's lives, and that's really what matters, right?
That's the fucking word right there, bro. Is impact, and you know, that song is the most important song I've ever made, at least to date, and might end up probably being. And you know, it's not the most viral song that I have, and I don't give a fuck. And actually, fun fact, that song's not even monetized. So because I don't own the track, so it's like, you know, whatever. Like, that song means like, yeah, man. That song, that's why it's pinned. So actually, that song was released on a different YouTube. The video guy that shot it, he released it on his channel in 2018. And I didn't have, and the reason we did that is for two reasons. The main reason was because I had no subs in 2018, and he was a video guy with a Chicago guy that shot videos, and he had like 10,000 subs. And so like I was like, well, I wanted to go wherever it's gonna get the most attention. That's what I want. And so he's like, all right, bet. So we put on his channel. He shot that video for me for half price because he's the homie, and I was broke, like I had no money. And I told him the message, and I'm like, bro, I think God like wants me to put this song out. I got the word Freepression, like that word, like I was at church at a prayer thing, like just it was like every week they just have this thing on Tuesday where you could just come and they play some music and you just walk around and pray or read, whatever. And it just popped in my head and I wrote it down, and like it took a couple months before I actually sat down and actually wrote that song. And I locked myself basically in my apartment for like 4 days straight. I've never done that with a song. Like it just dumped out of me, and it wasn't even in order. Like it wasn't even in the order that it actually ended up getting laid down. It was just, there was pages everywhere. I looked like what that song said, man. Like I was there, bro. Like even though, you know, at the end of it, I said like, you know, I found the key to getting out. Really, all I found, besides my relationship with God, is like God has given me this kind of like, it's kind of like a car when you get the like dashboard lights. I now I can feel when I'm starting. It's like the dashboard lights, like, hey, bro, you're going too far, like in that direction. It's your thought, like. Now I know through prayer, through reading the word, through reaching out, talking to, like, not being like just, hey man, you gotta fucking talk. Like you gotta have, you don't gotta tell the whole damn world. You don't gotta write a poem and tell, but you should be able to like have at least somebody in your corner that you can say, hey man, like XYZ, whatever, you know, and all these things become how you, because I think I'm gonna wrestle with this for the rest of my life because, you know, my father, I think it's something chemically, like my father killed himself. My father, there's something that probably got passed on a little bit that's fucking up here, that for whatever reason, that's a weakness, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. That's something that happens where, you know, but the thing is, I'm aware of it and I know how to address it now, and I don't let it get the upper hand on me to where I don't get anywhere near as dark as I was before, you know. And so when I wrote that song and put that out, I mean, bro, I had no money. I lived in an apartment that was like condemned. It didn't have like a refrigerator or nothing. There wasn't like nothing, man. It was a fucking condemned ass apartment. And the landlord, my homie told me he'd hook me up and do it for $800, which is half price. He charged $1,600 for a music video. And I said, bet. The next day, if it wasn't the day of, it was the next day, my landlord called me and asked if I wanted to paint some units in the building, and he'd give me $800.
Shit, man.
Yeah, like I can't make this shit up. And then even other things like how we shot the video, and it's like I didn't have no permits to stand on a fucking bridge and do this shit that I was doing. Like that's illegal as fuck. And like the fact that I didn't get arrested for that, I mean, so God has had his hand all over that song, man, and the stories that I've heard even today from you, and just the testimonies of people have told me. I've flat out heard people tell me that song, like they were going to kill themselves, one person said, and it popped up on their YouTube. And they don't follow me, they weren't subscribed to me, they didn't even know who the fuck I was, and it just popped up on their YouTube. Like, so that's what, you know, my music ultimately, I want my music to help people, you know, whether it's help people with that, help people. I feel like that's what I'm supposed to be in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Is a voice for that, you know, and help people in whatever way I can. I don't want to be the rapper that's like, you know, whatever, anything other than that, really, man. Like that's what I want my career to be. You know, I might make my talk my shit kind of records every once in a while just to have fun, but you know, the message of what I'm about, my career, what I want my career to be is someone that uplifts and my music is like a medicine to people, because that's what the fuck it was to me.
Yeah.
Writing. I mean, like music, when I got into it, and if I'm gonna have a career in it, and I'm gonna be blessed enough to have a career in it and provide for my family and things like that, from this, then I want it to 100% be that for other people. You know what I mean? That help support me being able to do that. You know?
Yeah. That's deep, man. I don't even know why I picked that song. I was scrolling through your playlist and I wanted to hear the earliest one, and it was the one down at the very bottom. And I was like, huh, that looks interesting. You know?
Yo.
I'll try
On
this.
Spotify, you mean?
No, it was on YouTube on your releases or whatever the tab it is on YouTube. I scrolled all the way down to playlist, I think it was. It's the last song on there. Yeah.
That's hilarious, because my Spotify, it's so crazy you said that, because my Spotify, if you go on Spotify, the most recent is the bottom. And so, and it's for singles. And because that drives me crazy, because just like I said, on my YouTube, I got it pinned on the top of my page. It's the very top video.
I didn't even notice.
I want it on my YouTube, or I want it pinned somehow on my Spotify. I still don't know how to do that at this point. I don't know if I can, but so before this album, me and Adam just did this album, before it released, I just deleted a bunch of singles, like a bunch.
Really?
Because I was like, and then I realized, well, shit, we're gonna drop singles, and that's gonna go back on top. So I'm waiting, but I'm gonna release, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna release any more singles. Like, I might just drop albums and not, because I don't ever want that. But it's funny that you said you went down to the bottom, because I'm over here like trying to. I guess God's just gonna let people find it. Maybe I need to just leave it where it's at. But that's funny.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of music like that is helpful. Even you guys' first single off there, Mirrors. I mean, I just, with what I've been going through in my personal life, that shit just had me like, that's what I needed to hear. You know what I mean? Just angry and expressive, and just, you know, it helps. And I think music like that is, I mean, I'm repeating myself, but it's super important. You know, anybody can go write a one-hit wonder, or maybe not anybody, but you know.
Yeah.
What is Ice Ice Baby after all these years but a joke? You know what I mean? But songs like that have some real depth and some real meaning. And anyways, let's switch off some heavier topics into something a little bit lighter. All right. Yeah. Are you listening to any rappers right now? Any like modern era rappers? Are you listening to anybody?
Well, it's funny you said switch off heavy, but I mean, his newest album's pretty light. NF.
Yeah.
I like NF. His new album, I loved his new album, Hope. I thought that was pretty cool, man. And I mean, that's about as new school as I get, man. I mean, there's some indie guys, like I said, Dax, I feel like that's kind of where I land as far as, you know, what lane, if you will, that I fit in, which Adam tells me this too all the time. He's like, you know what? He's like, you don't ever get to your point. and I get it, man. Adam is we're very different in that perspective. But that was when I was talking about all the different genres and not really feeling like I fit in. I feel like if anybody has kind of already sort of made a trail that I kind of follow in, at least independently, it would be Dax. DMX is another guy, but I mean, he's a little more like, I love DMX. Like, I got to open up for him, and that was like,
oh, no shit,
dream come true.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, it was super cool, man. It was a crazy night. The promoter had like fucking like literally, I'm not even exaggerating, like 15 opening acts because he had to pay for DMX, you know, and these were all like paid. These guys paid to open, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like I was the guy right before DMX, and so you're talking about the crowd is like ready to fucking just kill people, you know what I mean? Because it's like I think at around 9 o'clock at night they're starting opener. So it's like midnight. People have been there since like 8, getting in line 7 or whatever. It's like midnight, and DMX still ain't even. Dude, that was a whole fuck. Like I remember when I went on stage, and I had this crazy ass like opening song called Red Alert. And I had this suit that like blinks red. It's fucking crazy. But like I went out and because I had talked to the guy before this, prior to all this happening. So I had it set up. Yeah, kill the lights when I go on. Da da da. So I went up to him like right before I went out. I'm like, bro, fucking audible here. I need to. He's like, all right. I'm like, so just don't turn the lights down. Don't do nothing. He's like, all right, cool. And I just literally went out and I fucking sat on the edge of the stage. Like a lot of people had left, dude, because they were like pissed, you know, like they were.
Yeah.
It's like almost 1 o'clock in DMX, and part of it was because DMX was like super late getting there. I don't know why. I don't know if it was on him or his team. Who fucking knows? But that was part of it. But I sat down on the edge of the stage and I just like, you know, I'm like, all right, guys. I'm like, here's the deal. I'm like, I know you guys are frustrated. I want to see DMX too. I'm like, I know you don't give a shit about who I am or what I'm about to do or whatever. You know what I mean? I was like, but look, I was like, if you guys rock with me, I'm like, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm with you guys. Like, I'm you. I just happen to be up here with a mic. I'm like, I can't control what just happened for the last 3 hours. I'm like, so, because people were starting to get fucking booed and fucking shit thrown at them. I mean, it was rough. Yeah. And so I'm like, I had to like set the tone. I'm like, so if you guys just fuck with me for the next 15 minutes, I'm like, I would appreciate that, you know, like basically, or whatever. Something like that. And then I was like, all right, bro. And he killed the lights, and they went kind of nuts, bro. They were kind of like, oh shit, like okay, you know. And so yeah, that was crazy to open it for him. And rest in peace, dude. That fucking sucks.
Yeah,
He's earlier. I talked to someone, and he asked who I would bring back, and I said Nipsey if I could pick one, but I should have said DMX. Because it would be I mean, I love Nip, but if I had to pick one, it would be probably DMX. I mean, Pac, Big, those dudes are the shit, but I feel like DMX would, I don't know, DMX had the biggest impact on me as one of the, he was, but, so, yeah, man, I feel like, I don't know, I forgot what you asked me before that, man. Who influences modern? Yeah, Dax. He's pretty dope. I like, you know, if we're talking guys kind of more in my world. Yeah, man. I mean, I've met a lot of cool independent artists too since I kind of got in here that are really cool dudes. But I'd have to, bro, I fucking have tuned out of like the mainstream for probably a good 10 years. Like I just, there could be tons of dudes that are really fucking. My son listens to. This is bad because he's from Chicago, so I should know this. Who's like a newer school dude from Chicago, but he's big. He's like huge. He's like I guarantee you'll be like, what the fuck? How did you not know his name?
I'm not really up on a lot of the new rappers either, honestly.
You know this guy's name. He's fucking huge. But I just figured he was one of them, like, fucking mumble rap, blah, blah, blah. I never gave him even a chance to, like, and my son's like, have you ever listened to one of his songs? I'm like, fuck no. Why would I waste a second of my life doing that?
Right.
He's like, and then he shows me one, and I'm like, all right, he's not that bad. He was like actually like rapping and shit. So I was like, all right, cool. So I mean, there's probably a lot of news. It's kind of like always like our parents, like, yeah, you fuckers don't know what you're doing. You know, and it's like there's probably a bunch of new school dudes that are dope, but I just honestly have tuned out, man. Like the newest school dude that I probably have been up on is NF. Like I got up, I started listening to him when he had 7,000 followers on Facebook.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Like that's when I found his ass. So like, and it's cause I'm a Christian and I click on Christian content and stuff like that. And they marketed him when they first marketed him, bro.
Yeah.
It was a Christian artist. So he started popping up on my feed, bro, on Facebook. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, who is this? And I just went right by him a couple times, but you know, they were pushing him and it didn't take long, man. And first song I ever heard of his was All I Have. And I was like, oh shit, like he's dope. And so I was like, all right, follow, and I've been rocking with him ever since then.
Yeah, I don't think either one of us are missing out much on a lot of these new guys. I just watched the latest, it was a couple weeks ago now, but the Freshman XXL Cypher, and it was terrible. Just god awful. Like, I mean, Big X the Plug was on there. He did good. I like him, that Mexican OT, but other than that, it was just garbage, like garbage. So we know
Joyner.
Joyner Lucas, yeah. Joyner's fresh, dude. Yeah.
Joyner's a newer-ish school guy that definitely.
I really like that ADHD album he had. That was That it's a
Yeah,
couple years old now, but man, that was fire when that came out.
I've dove into his Spotify a couple times here and there, like listen to some more of his shit. But like anytime he drops something on YouTube, like a single or whatever, I always catch it. You know, or at least if I see it, I watch it, I guess is a better way to put it. And yeah, I mean, I've never seen a song from him where I was like, oh, that was trash. Like every time he's got his ideas. That was the thing. Is like I said, I like artists that are unique, bring something different. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, his ideas, his video concepts. He's a very dope artist. And
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, so I forget about him a lot, but yeah, he's up there.
What kind of other music you listen to?
Not much, man. Not much.
Much.
I don't really listen to a whole lot of rap. I listen to a lot of rap beats. You know, I listen to a
Sure.
lot. I've said before, like, I Adam, like he listens to everything across the board. You know, like I joke, like we've been on road trips and like you'll hear like, you know, I don't know, like the most ratchet gangster whatever shit you could think of. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think of an exact song. I can't think of one, but then like literally right after that, like Elton John will come on. You know what I mean? and then like I mean he's just a music. He loves music across the board. I appreciate it because as an artist myself, I definitely understand like how hard shit is.
Sure.
But I don't really listen to a ton. But yeah, like what for whatever reason it is, man, like beats just when I started rapping, they didn't have instrumentals and shit at least available that you could just go and buy at the store really. So like I learned to rap by literally rapping over other artists' songs, like while they were rapping too.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
so I listen to beats like a fucking weirdo kind of like I'm just obsessed with rap beats.
That makes sense though.
Yeah, Jelly's new shit I kind of like. You know, not necessarily like country music, but like some of his stuff that he's done. I feel like he was like a good bridge for me, and I live in Nashville now, so I might end up being a fucking, don't quote me as a country fan or whatever, you know. But my wife, she works at a salon, so she's always bringing home these new like she'll send me a song from like Spotify on her phone or whatever. Like, what do you got? I'm just like, you know, I'm a rapper, right? Like, but yeah, not much, man, not much, to be honest.
I gotta ask because it's all in the rap news over these past few days, but P. Diddy finally getting arrested.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think any of us that have been paying attention to that fool have kind of been expecting this for years. I mean,
Yeah.
but here we are. You think he's seen the last light of day, or you think he's going to be a walking free man again?
Yeah, no, he's gone. He's fine. He wouldn't have came home. He wouldn't have came. He's third. He's not going away. My opinion, I guess. He got too much money, too many. He wouldn't have came home. Like, why would he have came home? Like,
Yeah.
He obviously was like, shit. Like, they're gonna like win, and then he worked the deal. Like, he didn't come home until the deals was already, and now they're gonna go through the motions, but he's not. And here's the other thing: you want to talk like guys that get kind of into conspiracies and shit. Like, hey, how you doing? So like me, I don't know, man. Like, who fucking knows where half of these guys are at? Like, you know, Epstein and shit. Like, who fucking knows? Dude, like they might be like, oh, they'll show some video walking P. Diddy into the Fed and shit, and it's like he'll walk him right out the back door, and he's on some fucking island for the rest of his life type shit. You know, like,
I mean, he's basically like the Epstein of rap, it seems like, with all the videotapes and the blackmail and the freak offs and all this and that. I mean,
fucking highlights though, like the lube.
Oh God, like 700 something dildos they found. Like, jeez, man.
Yeah, dude, it's bad. It's bad.
That's crazy.
So fun fact, bro. I work with a producer, Harrison Crump, and he's a Chicago producer. I met him 20 something years ago. He's friends with another producer named Voodoo who produced for Ludacris. He made a couple beats off of Ludacris's shit back in the day. He made Georgia, which
Oh,
everybody
shit.
calls that Ludacris. It's not Ludacris, it's a Field Mob song or whatever. But and then he did like Large Amounts. Or wait, is it Ludacris? It might be on Ludacris' album featuring Field Mob. Either way, whatever. Large Amounts, which isn't like a big single, but Crump got into how he's a DJ, so he got into like house music, and Puffy wanted to get into that, and so that's how he ended up meeting Puff. And so they were working on an album. There was like a life after death thing for Biggie. It was like way after Biggie had passed, and they were like they had a bunch of unreleased Biggie verses. And so he was sending it out, and my producer, my buddy, was one of the people that like got to like make beats, because that's what they would do back in the day with like unreleased vocals, is send out like mass blasts to a lot of different producers that were in their networks, and then just have them send back the beat around it to, you know, and then just pick the best one if they liked it or whatever. So anyways, he sent it to me and was like, yo, you want to try to hop on this album? I was like, let me fucking think about if I want to hop on a song with Biggie's like unreleased vocals. Gee, I don't fucking know. So like I write my shit and I record it and whatever. We sent that in, but he also was like, yo, Puff is looking for someone to write for this song for the Pussycat Dolls or a song or some shit. So I write 2 verses of a song for Puffy. He said I wait, I get back, I hear from him, and he's like, yeah, they didn't use it. And I was like, all right. And I was like, did he say why? And he's like, yeah, he said it sounded too much like Puff. And I was just like, what? I was like,
what does that even mean?
Yeah, like, who did you want it to sound like? You know what I mean? So like, I was like, so okay, so all right, whatever. So didn't really think much about it. And then like 6 months later, dude, he puts the song out with like the Pussycat Dolls, and he's like got a verse on it or whatever. And there's just like so many pieces of the song that I sent him, you know, like just and I'm just like, you fucking bitch. And the guy's worth like, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars at this point. And I'm like, you couldn't even send some broke ass dude from Chicago like $1,000 for that? Nothing. Right. Like, you just think, dude, we'll just take that, you know? Like, and again, it wasn't verbatim, so it's like I couldn't probably prove it anyway, but like, just fucking, I was like, wow. So that you're talking about like 04 or some shit. Like, yeah. 05, that's how far. So I'm like, I've been knowing Puffy's on some back then, and then knowing other people in the industry, you start hearing the other, like the even worse shit. You're just like, oh yeah, fuck that guy.
Crazy stuff, man. Well, outside of rap and writing, what are a couple of other things that you like to do with your free time?
I used to love playing basketball, but I suck now, so I don't love playing basketball because it's just, I just get very mad at how bad I suck. Yeah, it's totally drained the fun out of it, man. I used to be like, you know, everybody's like, oh, I could throw a football over the mountains, you know, or whatever. But like, I really was a fucking hooper, man. Like, that was my first love before even rap, man. I was a fucking hooper, and I probably could have played, could have played high school ball for sure. And me and Adam both went to the same high school. Our school was like there's a lot of fucking like successful athletes that have at least gone to college or something, you know, like in our area. It's a very competitive area, just south of Chicago, and you got like 5 different cities all smashed in one high school. And so it's like, it's just that high school, you know, always be going to state for this or state for that. So, you know, and like the number 1 kid that ended up, I think, going to Ohio from our fucking basketball team or whatever. Like, I used to hoop with him all the fucking time. His name was Ryan White. But I didn't play on the team. I didn't even try out because I got in this huge fucking argument with the coach during like a summer camp. And I was just like, fuck that guy. I'm not even trying out. And like, you know, it's one of the things I look back, I'm like, man, what a fucking dumbass, you know? I do. Because it's like, I loved playing, and it's like, I'm the one that suffered for it because, you know, whatever. But So yeah, now I work out, man. I like lifting weights. I like shooting pool. Kind of that's like helps me like kind of focus a little bit.
What kind of pool you play? You play 9-ball? 8-ball?
Both. Yeah. 9-ball. So I used to play like leagues a little bit, and
Like APA?
yeah, and I haven't done it in years, but that was kind of fun. I'm not fucking anything crazy. I think the highest rank I got to was like a 5 or something, but
Yeah, I was a 6 back when I used to play. I love pool. I don't get to play anymore because my neck is kind of jacked up. But
okay.
I've been wanting to get back into it. I'm a little nervous of hurting my neck because when my neck gets jacked up, then I can't do anything. I can't work. I can't drive. So
yeah,
but
yeah.
my grandpa passed and he gave me his old Miyuchi cues that I'm just like, they're sitting right over there in the corner. I'm like, man, I want to so bad. I used to want to be a professional pool player, but first as a professional boxer, then a professional pool player, and then
Yeah.
so I love pool, man. I think it's a good game for thinking.
Yeah, it's just it helps me relax. Like you can't be like on 10 and fucking play pool. You gotta you gotta like, and that was it was like my once or twice a week we'd shoot, and I always enjoyed it, man, because it was just like I like things that like I like being around my friends. I don't really give a fuck what we're doing, like so like that was one because this was I'm 22, 23, whatever, like getting out of now you're not in school no more. You don't get to see each other. Everybody's got real fucking jobs and shit. So it's like that was the one thing. Like once a week or twice a week, I can look forward to seeing some of my like good buddies. Like countdown.
Yeah, for real.
I'm gonna definitely for sure see my buddies like for a couple hours, and so that's I really enjoyed that. But you know where there's like other things that I love to do that just for the event, like pool was like I actually started I started to get kind of like nuts about it. I was like, no, we're gonna fucking be the best in the world and shit. And we almost went to Vegas. We were fucking we were in a city thing and we were man, I'm so mad. I'm thinking about it now too. Yeah, we were like, because they have judges, like refs and shit, like and this ref was like, I don't know what the fuck she was doing, but she wasn't watching. And like, I have a buddy named Jeff. It was like a race out of 5, best out of 5, whatever. So we win the first 2 games, first 2 matches, like done. The third match is my buddy Jeff. And Jeff's just smoking this guy. Jeff's a 5 bagging. Like he can fucking 8. He's an 8. Like he's a gangster. Like so he's just he's just fucking killing this dude. And he goes to but Jeff's got a fucking temper. Like he's like a fucking So it's the last game he's got to win. And the other guy's shooting, and he fucking no. Jeff's shooting. He goes to like kind of do a defensive shot. He's only got like the 8 left. He's literally like down the 8, but he didn't have a good shot, so he just went to do like a defensive shot. Yeah. And the fucking and his team, I'm standing right next to the fucking like right down the line of the thing. I can clearly see he hits the fucking rail, but the other team stands up. They're like, no rail, no rail. Yeah, and the ref turns around. I fucking pay, whatever. It's not her fault. But like, she's like, and she awards just okay, no rail, and the guy runs the rest of that rack out, wins, and Jeff's he's got like once he's pissed, it's like he's rattled and he just loses the match, and then we fucking just the whole momentum swifted and fucking.
It could happen just like that. Yeah.
He was one fucking ball away. We were one ball away from Vegas, dude. And so,
man.
Yeah.
The guy gets ball in hand on some BS. That's
it was such bullshit, man. We were all like, and I mean, dude, like, everybody, we're all badasses, right? Whatever, you know, whatever. But I mean, like most of my buddies, like Adam, we're all like, and dude, we're just staring at this team like, okay, we're gonna beat the shit out of all you in the parking lot. Like it's going, like, it was just bad. Yeah. Dude. We were so pissed. But yeah, I used to have a really nice Viking cue. I liked an old Viking cue.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was my baby. I don't know where. I think I broke it over somebody's head.
Oh man. Well,
like
listen.
when you grow up, kids.
Right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, man. I won't keep you much longer. We've been talking for a while now. I know you got stuff to do. This has been awesome, man. I'd like to encourage everybody listening, go download Pale Horse if you haven't. It's a tremendous album, dude. I really like it. And I'm gonna keep diving into the rest of your catalog. I'm kind of excited because there's a lot of new music there for me as well.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the new projects you were talking about as well, dude. I'm stoked to have another rapper that I can listen to that's really speaking from the heart, and like we talked about earlier, making some music that's got an impact on people. Because I think when it all boils down to why we're here and what we're doing and the purpose of life, I mean, what is it if it's not to help people or to make a positive impact on others, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, no, I love it, man. I would encourage you to dive into Dear Rap, bro.
Dear Rap, okay.
That album. That's and I don't know if you're gonna just listen, just go there. If you're looking for actual videos or whatever singles off, well, I mean, you can just see the playlist. There's a good chunk, 5-6 songs off of there that I made videos for too. If you want to check them out. But Dear Rap, I'm just saying that to you because knowing, you know, like that's my favorite album. That you know. There's a lot, like I said, I got into a lot of political shit, which I hate even calling it that, but whatever. But like Dear Rap is just 1 to 15, just you're getting me. It's just
okay. Word. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, amen.
Looking forward to it. I'm gonna probably react to the videos on my channel and then listen to the rest on my own. So
yeah,
word.
That's what's up, dog.
Well, thanks again, man. I appreciate you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day, brother.
All right, man. You too.